Hello, welcome back to Randomizing LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to show you how you can create this kind of scrambled curve. So it's basically kind of like rubber bands. If you put rubber bands together, of course, it's like chaotic, but they are all still kind of like a single entity, you know, like these rubber bands. So I started with basically like a curve. So let's create a curve, Shift A, curve Bezier, and then just delete everything and draw something, like in this case, like the octopus. You can use a mesh, but in this case, I'm using curve because we can easily resample the curve. So I call this scrambled curve. So it's gonna be a little bit random, but you will learn something. So the fastest way I found is by using another type of curve. For example, circle, or spiral. In this case, I'm using curve spiral. I'm gonna resample the curves as usual. We can resample into points, and then what I will use is instance on points, and all we need to do now is to make sure each spiral is a little bit random. So let's first of all adjust the radius. Okay, let's use length. Okay, so let's scale this. Just as example, I'm scaling the curve. So you can adjust the resolution of the spiral. You can do like random rotations to make it a little bit more random. Okay, we're starting to get something that's a little bit more interesting. I think the seed, in this case, the instance is doing the job for us. So each one of the instance will get a different seed, I believe. And to make this even more random, we can realize the instance. So this turning the whole thing into a single mesh that we can further randomize. So what I'm doing here is to normalize the noise, and then I will scale it. So I've done this many times, but still kind of interesting to show. So anyway, so this actually works because we realize instance. Otherwise, each and every spiral is still the same, but since we are randomizing each and every single one using noise, they all now looks slightly different. They're still looking kind of like a spiral. So we can, the nice thing is that we can still control how many spirals we have. So you can see here with the instance on and off. So the noise, definitely this is kind of like parameters that you can play around. Okay, so at this point you are free to actually, if you want to connect the dots, you want to connect the dots of each line so they are not separate objects, you can try. Let's see. Let me think. So at the moment they are all a little bit disconnected. So in order to connect them together, you can use mesh line, I believe, mesh line, but we need to transfer this position value. We need to capture the attributes, transfer the position based on the index. So we can set position of this mesh line using these attributes. Okay, now they are all connected into a single line. Okay, it's a little bit weird that it works like this. So we are now actually working on this mesh line. And if we want to turn this back into curve, we need to convert the mesh to curve and curve to mesh. If you want to subdivide, you can use subdivision surface, so it's a little bit smoother line. You can do it this way, and then you can use curve circle just to connect all of them back together. So back to our spiral, we can increase the resolutions. Okay, now yeah, we have our tangled design or whatever. This, if I'm not wrong, okay, since we are drawing a curve, for example, these rotations actually doesn't need to be random. So these rotations can be, we can use angle. I forgot the name. Vector rotate Euler. So we can use the spline parameters of vector length, not this one. There's one of parameter that's allowing this spiral to follow the angle. I forgot the name, but for now we just have random. I just write down tau. Okay, so yeah, basically, yeah, we have a single line now that we can use to draw a curve that's tangled. Okay, so that's pretty much what I want to show you. It's the whole thing slightly funny the way it works, but that's geometry nodes, and still it's allowing you to do some fancy stuff. So you can always duplicate it, delete everything, just write hey or something. Yeah, maybe in this case we don't need to scale it. So it's almost like a grease pencil, but you have geometry nodes that's work underneath to create this entangled curve. All right. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.